Here today, but her empty chair is sitting right there. I want to thank the Miller family, Michael Miller, Grant Miller, the entire Community Newspapers family, and especially Tommy, our producer, sitting in the back. And our guest today is one of our amazing trustee members, Mr. Joseph Arbolaez from We Insure Fortress Financial Group. The reason I wanted to bring Joseph in today is to talk about the need to protect your business. It is not a popular topic at times because business owners choose to ignore it. So I said, look, let's make sure that we know how to protect our business, especially in this day and age after the situations that we had in the past year and a half. So with that said, Joseph, welcome. You know that you're one of my favorite people. We talk a lot, we chat a lot. Sometimes we don't see each other a lot, but we still text and chat. And it's like, Joseph, what do you need? How can the Doral Chamber of Commerce help you? You're always a community person. You're an amazing family man. I saw your Facebook this morning. I love the pictures. Okay, I was trying to get a professional picture. It was all family. I love it. This guy's good. This guy's good. Because you have to have that balance in life, right?
That's it. Always.
All right. Good. So, Joseph, tell me about you. I want to talk a little bit about history. I like running a practical show, but we need to start and understand who you are, how you got into what you're doing now. Really, if you could explain your company and the need for what you do.
This is about the third career in my life. I'm a vintage person, right? I have some years.
Vintage.
Vintage.
Now I know. Now I can use that word,
yeah,
right?
Always.
Okay. All right. I'm
Always.
getting to the 6-0. So vintage is a good word. I love it. Yes.
Yeah. So it's my third career, but back when I was like 47, I got my future released for me or rearranged for me, so I had to reinvent myself. And I was always interested in the insurance world. I had friends that had been in it before. And I decided, there were reasons I needed to stay locally, and that was a good business to be in. And so I decided to get into that business, both the insurance and the financial services world.
So what is We Insure and Fortress Financial? We have a logo identity when I put you up on the trustee banner for the chamber. It's like,
well, that's because again, I and a partner, Michael Stone's a partner of mine, my partner, we decided finally to get together and buy the franchise, right? So we bought the We Insure insurance franchise, which is a property and casualty franchise. So insurance has different segments to it. There's personal insurance, there's commercial insurance.
You said property and casualty, but you do liability. We were discussing liability yesterday.
Yeah, and that falls under the auspices of property and casualty insurance, right? It's regulated in different departments. But you have your life insurance, which is different, your disability insurance, your long-term care insurance, and then you have property, right? So an auto, a home, a business, the business equipment, the business autos, right? The business liability, right? So a doctor, an attorney, they've got to protect themselves from a liability perspective. Nowadays you have, especially in this town, right? You have more bus benches with litigation attorneys listed than almost any other profession, right? So you even have little jingles that go off on the radio all the time. Have a slight little accident, pick up the phone and call us, and we'll take care of you. All of that's issues with litigations and insurance. So there's a lot of different reasons, but that's kind of the way. I've always been a type of person that believes in protection and taking care of what you got. It's hard to earn what you get, and then you got to protect what you earned, because if you don't protect it, it flies.
So what are we know the processes, and believe it or not, we still get a lot of questions about the process of starting a business. We're getting a lot more entrepreneurs now, not just work from home entrepreneurs, single entrepreneurs, but people who are actually starting physical businesses. What should be the process of protecting your assets, and why?
One of the main points that I just talked about was the fact that you have a lot of litigation. So there's a lot of reasons why someone would, feel that that what you did for them was not correct, or they walked into your premises and they had an issue.
But you're talking about two different kinds of insurance, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about errors and omissions?
Is that what that's about? Errors and omissions from a professional perspective. There's errors and omissions Malpractice insurance, if you're a doctor, is pretty much the same thing. Professional liability, they are protecting you on a professional perspective in terms of the services you provide and whether someone felt that you didn't do that right and they want to claim, right?
I see.
So that insurance covers that angle of it. So you wouldn't have to go into your general account, right? A business needs a regular operating account to run a business, to pay rent, to pay power, to pay licenses. And then if you get a suit and you have to pay out of that suit, you'd have to go into that. And now the business is missing income that it normally needs, right? Cash that it needs to run.
So I open a business. Do I run out and get liability insurance? You said property to protect the assets of the business.
There are businesses that are.
Which one do I get?
There are businesses that don't have overhead, right? So they don't have a structure, a storefront. They don't have equipment. They don't have auto. In that case, you don't need property insurance, right? But you still probably need liability insurance in case, again, someone feels that they got wronged and they want to, give you a suit. You have protection. It's risk. You're transferring risk, right? Insurance is basically, it's a contract between you and an insurance company for whatever line of insurance it is. And you are transferring that risk by paying a premium, right?
I see.
So the insurance company's taking that risk on for a premium. Hopefully nothing happens. They win and you win protection, right? That's normally the idea, right?
Is that because of all the frivolous lawsuits and like the lady who ordered the hot coffee from McDonald's? And
yeah, I'm not going to say who was wrong there. I'm not saying that she didn't get burned.
Well, now there's a warning on the cup on the bottom, right?
Yeah, well,
contents may be hot. Okay.
Every business has protection, and one of the protections is hiring attorneys, right, to protect them. And so the attorneys immediately after they had to pay out, because I don't remember what the payout was, but it was quite a significant
payout.
It was
a lot of money. I don't remember either.
Yeah, and the insurance, the business says, okay, this happened this time. We don't want this to happen continuously. So they get together, the CEO and the CFO and the attorneys get together and say, okay, how can we protect ourselves from this happening again? Maybe.
Well, you want to think that that's not going to happen to you, but I have the other mentality. I like law. And I see what happens in law. I see the great side of law. Mm-hmm. We have some are the attorneys for the Doral Chamber of Commerce. You know them, Peregonza. Yep. They have been wonderful. We negotiated to have them be the official attorneys of the Doral Chamber of Commerce, and that has protected us. Yeah. We've had situations. Somebody wanted to use our mark, Best of Doral, just recently, and we had to get a cease letter to get them to stop using that mark. But other than that, we know that having the attorneys is a deterrent from somebody frivolously suing us. Exactly. So that's the great side of the attorneys. Okay. Yes, exactly. And as a matter of fact, one of the things that Peregonza recommends is that you have, as the registered agent, attorneys. Mm-hmm. So they will actually for the Doral Chamber of Commerce members, they will be your registered agents, which is really good. So if somebody comes to sue you and they see, registered agents, Peregonza, the attorneys, it's a deterrent. But I see a lot of frivolous. So I said way from the get-go, let's make sure we have liability insurance. We had at the old location last year, we had a training room. After COVID, we got rid of the training room for now. Everything's gone virtual, as you know. A lot of people going through. Yeah. We had a lot of great workshops on social media, SEO. And we said, let's make sure that we're protected. I know the building's got protection, but they can go after the building. They can go after us. They can go after the whole line. So one of the things that we did was make sure we had the attorneys to protect the Doral Chamber of Commerce. And once again, have them as registered agents. But we went out and got insurance.
It's another measure of protecting yourself. Having the attorneys on staff, not on staff, but as a connection to you, with a connection to the business, that's always great because it's not like I had an issue. Now let me go find an attorney. Mm-hmm. You already have a relationship. Well, it's kind of like the same thing with the insurance. You want to have a relationship with your agent as well, right? Because the agent then gets to learn your business, right? And then gets to recommend to you what are the areas that you could have exposure on.
Yeah, and that was a big issue. Interestingly enough, we discussed this yesterday and before. It's tough to get liability insurance for a nonprofit. I don't know if you know. Do you know why? I never
I'm not
researched that.
exactly sure. When this stuff gets something political, I'm not the most political guy in the world, so I don't really
Yeah.
understand the rationale as to why. There's an issue with profit and not for not profit. But once you brought that up, to be honest with you, I was curious about it yesterday, so I'm going to start
Yeah.
looking into that.
Yeah, let's look into that. That's interesting because it took a while. Somebody, we can't mention who. Let's not mention who, but 2 years ago they sold us the insurance for the chamber. Said, "Wow, we found someone that would insure, give us liability insurance for the Doral Chamber of Commerce." And it turns out at the end of the year, well, I get a notice from the insurance company saying we're not going to renew your policy. I called them up. I said, "Why? What happened?" "Oh, you were insured as a for-profit." So I guess that was an unscrupulous.
Okay, I'm gonna say that again. I told you, this is my third career. So I started in 2007. I used to be an operations manager, totally a different thing, but it was a medical device manufacturing organization for many years, and it was under FDA regulation. So we'd had FDA inspection. So I kind of know what it is to deal with ISO 9001. How everything needs to be written down. You have to have an SOP and follow it, right? When I got into the business, honestly. It's a business with a lot of independent agents, right? And whether it's health insurance, because insurance is insurance, it's health insurance. We talked about property, we talked about business, personal insurance, but there's a lot of independent agents, which there's a lot of self-regulation. The industry regulates you from the perspective that you have to have 24 hours of CE credits every 2 years, so you have to be up par with the law, But there's not a lot of up top regulatory control, which is not always good, right? Either I'm not for that necessarily, but there's a lot of independent agents, and there's a lot of stuff that goes around that you could say maybe okay, it's between the woodwork, right, between the lines. I'm reading between the lines. It's gray matter. It's in here in the gray matter. Some things are black and white, right? They're supposed to be black and white, but then people open up the black and white and there's gray, right?
Yeah.
And so I've seen a lot of cases where I see like a home and the home's insured and the home says, "Oh yeah, it's got everything great," but when you go and you check out the home, it's got fuses instead of circuit breakers. But it's what you put on paper, right? Paper holds whatever you want to write on it, and as long as there's not an audit or an inspector that comes out to check, you really don't know. So in your case, let's just say
I didn't know. I was happy we found someone to insure the chamber as a nonprofit, and then a year later, as well, they had put you in as a for-profit. So it was an unscrupulous insurance agent.
That happens, unfortunately. That happens a lot.
Well, it's very important to have a good insurance agent right here. Okay, so let's discuss. Right. Let's discuss, and I. Believe me, I've known you I still couldn't figure out how long, 8, 9, 10 years.
2007.
2007? Well, that'd be 2008. Did I know you before the Doral Chamber of Commerce was founded in 2000?
It was right at the beginning.
Right at the beginning.
Because that's when I got my licenses and everything, when I got into this business. And then immediately I looked at it and said, okay, I'm an older guy. This is not really my market. How do I get into this? And I started looking around. Well, who can I associate myself with that's going to help my business grow? And I started looking at the chambers. I went to a couple different chambers. I'm not going to mention them here. And it was like, okay, well, this is all about being political and, who knows who, and this is not really going to get me anywhere. And I started looking around. Finally, when I went to some event that you put on that I don't know how I saw, and I went to, it's like, wow, these people are really, sure. You would do the monthly thing where you would let one of the members come in and talk to the whole group, and it was free.
That was a lot of we used to do the Friday morning one. And that was tough. 7 o'clock. I had to be in at 7 o'clock in the morning. I had to have a subject for every Friday morning. That was challenging. We went to the speed networking at IKEA. We've done the cruise. That's amazing. That lunches. Awesome. I missed that one. I missed that one. That's big. We've had Francis Suarez. We've had a couple mayors. We've had some presidents of banks. That was a great event.
It was
on Carnival. We're hoping to get back to that as soon as everything's over. What we try to do is try to make it practical for you, but and we run into people like you, amazing people. To me, I love you.
That's right.
You know that I love you.
I don't know if everybody says
this is a bromance. Okay,
I'll take it.
I love you because you work your assets off. Okay, you're always asking me how you can help me. Which is what I do. Right. It was like, Joseph, I call you when I don't hear from you, right?
Yep, all the time.
That's the way to do business. You want to have success in this environment. you got to reach out. And
Yep.
it's not about you. It's not about the chamber. It's about you. New slogan we came out with is we market Doral, we market you. Okay. We have been a tremendous asset for the businesses in the city of
That's
Doral.
true.
We have pushed and pushed and pushed to market, especially during the C word.
Yep.
I got all the information out for the PPP. We just got a couple more people that got the Comcast Rise grant, by the way. So apply for that. It's check out our newsletter. Comes out every day. Rise grants free. We got 3 iPads, 2 tablets, or two. I'm sorry, 2 tabs, 3 iPads, two laptops, a computer, free Wi-Fi. One of my dry cleaners, Elite Press in Doral, by the way, great people, a great job. See, I'll type. She got a commercial produced for her, and in 90 days. There's a lot of opportunities. You got to get out in front of people, talk about your business. But every time I do this, I want to make sure that we give out some practical information. So let's get back to the subject at hand. Is what do you actually offer? So do you do the liability? You offer the liability insurance?
Of course, for both personal and for both personal and business, right? Business. Commercial and personal.
Okay. Is it expensive? People think liability insurance.
No, actually, it's not. On the personal side, normally, I recommend, especially if you have assets that you need to protect, right? Because you're normally guaranteed or protected on your single home, your retirement assets, and your life insurance cash value assets. Those things are protected from creditors.
Don't get too technical.
No, I'm not trying to. But those things on a personal side are protected from creditors. Some folks have misconceptions of what is and what is not. It's your primary home, not your investments homes, right? Your primary home, your auto, your retirement assets, and your life insurance assets, right? So a lot of times, if you have other assets to protect, people don't understand what an umbrella policy is, right? So that's something you should maybe look at if you're in that situation.
Umbrella for business or umbrella for
it's
home
for
or personal?
I'm sticking to the personal right now. Right? So on the personal, as long as you have like your auto and your home at the maximum liability levels on those two policies, you can actually get an umbrella policy that goes over them, right? So if your limit is 300,000 on the car, right? Let's say you had an accident or something, God forbid, it's a bad thing, and you get a lawsuit, and now it's over 300,000. Well, the insurance company is only going to cover the 300,000. So now they're going to go above. Where are they going to go, right?
Yeah, people think, oh, I don't need that, but once again, we get back to a lot of people looking to get free money. And they'll see a little puddle of water and 2 drops of water on the floor in your business, and so now they go flying and on the floor.
That's what I'm saying. So an umbrella policy on a personal side. So that's the personal side, right? It'll cover you beyond the limits that you have on your home liability and your auto liability. Okay, and that's relatively cheap.
Because I want to protect my assets.
Right.
Okay. I start a business. I have a brick and mortar, a physical business. Okay. So someone comes into the business and they have a slip and fall. Let's use the terminology there. Now they want to sue. How does that process work? They sue the business.
They're going to sue the business.
And if the business doesn't have the liability insurance,
eventually they can try to whittle down, depending on how you have. Now we get into company structure, corporate structures and stuff like that. I mean, we're going to get deep into all this stuff, but if your corporate structure is not really strong, then they eventually could end up going to the individual. Could be.
Because the corporation structure. Let me interrupt you a second. Yeah. Very important. We've talked about this, and I think we need to do another conversation about this. The reason you want to have a corporation or LLC and talk to an attorney, okay, is to protect you as an individual, because now it's a separate. There's a whole. I mean, this is a whole.
You want to keep your individual assets separate from your business assets.
So they do what's called breaking the. What do they call breaking the corporate veil? Mm-hmm. So, I got a corporation, but hey, where are your minutes? Okay, are you really a corporation? Yeah. You've got contractors, and you're calling. Forget it. That's a long conversation. Yeah. So they're going to go after the business, but they're going to try to break the corporate veil down and get to you. So that's where that umbrella insurance policy.
It would help, right? Or on the personal side, if you had an accident and, like I said, God forbid it was a bad one, and sue you, and they get the claim, and it's over 300,000, then where's it going to come from? Your bank, or your properties, or if you have this umbrella policy, it would come from there. So it wouldn't affect your assets, right? If it goes over the 300,000, and the umbrella policies are normally relatively cheap for the amount of insurance you get for the dollar you pay, right? They're normally cheap because it's really they don't pay as frequent, right? The claims are not going to be that often because they're on top of, right, what's already there. So it's not like it happens very much, right? Normally, insurance is priced on many variables, but one of the biggest variables is claim history, right? When there's a lot of claim history,
so the bottom line is
premiums go up. Premiums go up, and that happens with the home insurance issue here in South Florida massively.
So back to the business. So people think it's expensive, but it's more expensive not to have it if something happens, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always try to self-insure, but you've got to have, you know, the assets to do that, right? You self-insure, you don't pay a premium. You're self-insuring yourself. So you know that if they sue you and you have to pay, you're going to go to your bank and you're going to take out the money and you're going to pay it. You're self-insured.
I think you had a workshop one time at the Doral Chamber of Commerce about when you have partners. There's an insurance for that. About we can't talk too much about that today.
That's more of a business agreement, right? You have to have business agreements and buy-sell agreements. So if now we're getting into another issue, but a buy-sell agreement then has insurance in it. It's a funding tool, right? So buy-sell agreement says you and I are partners, right? And we've been in business, and now there's capital in the business, and let's say it's worth $1 million, right? And now you pass away, right? Well, I'm either going to do business with your spouse, right, or with car, or with someone, right, or your kids, or someone, because it's going to go to them. So rather than maybe I don't want to be business partner with them. I we've been working on this for the last 10 years. I don't want that, right? So normally you would get a buy-sell agreement, right, and then the buy-sell agreement would be funded normally by life insurance, right? So there's a life policy on you that I own, and a life policy on me that you own. That's one way of doing it, right? And if I die, then you're going to get the money, and with that money, you're going to pay off the family, and now you will be the owner. The business agreement says you are now the sole owner, right?
Business agreement also wills and trusts, right? Having a will.
Oh, that's something different. That's more for your beneficiary side, right? For your own estate, yeah. Well, for your trust side, your beneficiary side, when it's a will, right?
This is confusing.
Yeah, no. Now you're getting into my buddies, right? Into right? Or into the trust attorney, right?
Well, Legacy Trust. By the way, we have a great seminar on the 23rd. Legacy Trust Council. If you check out our email, I believe it's on the 23rd. She does a really great workshop. This one's about kids and inheritance, but she has talked about several times about businesses and.
She does.
And the personal side, you pass away. Where do your assets go? I mean, do you really want to work with your partners? No, I don't know. It's Mike, right? Your partner?
Michael Stone, yeah.
Not him. Let's pretend somebody else is your partner. You really want to work with a person's spouse who's never run the business before, But this is another long conversation we can have.
But I went through it because just to explain to you that it's actually funded normally with an insurance product, right? Because they use it as a funding source. Good. For the agreement to be able to pay off the.
So you can have a business if you have partners. You can have an insurance for each one of the partners if they pass away.
Yes, and it can be either personally owned by each one of the partners, or it can be entity owned. So the business owns it, right?
Good. Well, I think that's really great protection. So bottom line, it is more expensive not to have a liability type insurance for your business than not to have.
Especially if you get sued. I was going to say in this town. I know this town is turned into the Tri-County, but we far exceed the claims history of the United States.
Well, I had I have another business called the List Annex, so we sell lists of professionals and such, and I believe the attorney list. I just got the fresh one. I think it was Miami-Dade County or Florida, 46,000 attorneys and growing.
I mean, it's good. It's good, right? It's good. It's good.
It's good. It's good. There's going to be a lot of questions. I know we're running. We have a few more minutes to talk. A couple of things that's important. 5 minutes. Okay, good. A couple of things that are important to understand is that this is challenging. It's very confusing. I know you're a great networker. Okay, because you come to all our events. You come to the speed networking. You come to the cruises. You come to our courses and workshops.
COVID's been tough for me. I'm a more of a person. Personal touch.
Did you come to the K1 speed one? You missed that one though, right?
I don't know. I missed that
one. No, Grant Miller.
We've done a few of them.
Grant was there.
Yeah.
It's on.
I try it. I'm an older guy. It's not easier to do all this stuff. it's new technology stuff, but
It's not easy to
you've done
put
a
on
good-
these
that-
events.
that-
Okay, trust me.
You've done a good job, and we're all trying. But still, I'd rather have the personal touch for sure.
We've had some great events. We got a little lull here because we're not sure what's going on with the C word, but we did a great event at K1 Speed, a networking event where we actually had racing. Grant was there.
Yeah.
He did a great video. It's on the homepage, doralchamber.org.
I don't want to miss that one next time it happens. That seems cool.
I want to see if we can do Top Golf again. That was a great lunch. That was a great fun.
Yeah, that's good.
And we got to hit the golf balls and chat and network out there. You're a great networker. Do you any tips on networking? Because you're always out there.
You've got to get out and meet people. I mean, it's difficult. That's the challenge I have with the technology world and all the Zooming stuff. And if you don't get out and meet people, who's going to know who you are or what you can do or what you think and how you feel? Insurance and the financial services world, which I'm not going to get into necessarily, it's all about relationships, right? So you're going to do business with somebody that you can relate with, that you feel good with, that you trust. And how are you going to do that over an electronic screen? I mean, it's very difficult.
Well, one of the things about insurance is that, forgive me, but it's boring. To me, it's boring, but it's so necessary. And one of the great things that you do, once again, is you get out there. So people get to know you, Joseph. They get to know Joseph. This is a big thing I have taught since we opened the chamber in 2008. It's about building relationships. And if I'm not buying from you, but I have a relationship with you, you can refer business to me. Exactly. And vice versa. Exactly. Okay, so getting to know and building a network is so important. The databases, it's always been about the databases with the Doral Chamber, and making that available to you and making connections. Exactly. I'll personally refer people to you. Everyone has my cell phone. Okay, that's strange. You can't give people their cell phone; they're going to be calling you. One great thing is I don't know who it was. I think it was Gary Vaynerchuk who said, if you give everybody your cell phone, nobody will call you, because they know they can reach you at any time.
And that's my cell phone's on my business card.
So
Has been all the time.
One of the great things you do, like I said, to repeat, is you build relationships, and you're an amazing person. When people get to know you, it's like curiosity. Then we can have a conversation. What the heck is liability insurance? Why do I need it? Etc. So we have 2 minutes left. There's a tradition here that Michael loves for me to do and it's tough. It's not easy. So I want you to imagine that you are mentoring a teenager, probably in high school right now. What would you tell them about success? Use your experience and use your knowledge and tell this teenager, look in the camera there, and tell them what they need to know, what they should do, motivate them to have great success like you in life.
Don't let anyone tell you can't do it, right? Go for it, especially if you feel it. If you have passion for it, go for it. From my boring side, from the financial services and insurance side, I'm going to always say protect what you've gotten. So once you achieve something, protect it. Save early. Don't wait till later. Don't party, because they're always going to party, but don't party as much, and half of the party put it away, and let compounding, and search in Google what compounding is. Let compounding be your friend. So when you get to be my age, wow, you've got a lot of wealth. All right.
I love it.
Save early, protect yourself. Life insurance is a great way to do it also. Roth on steroids, and that's about all I'm going to say about it.
I love it. Well, this has been a really informative show. I knew I was going to be glad to bring you on here because it's a subject that is very confusing, but you don't have to be confused. You can call Joseph, Joseph Arbolaez. We insure Fortress Financial. I want to thank once again the Miller family, Miami's Community Newspapers, Tommy, Carmen, our VP. God bless you all. Thank you, Joseph. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing weekend. God bless you.
Thank you, Manny.